We're hanging out today at Demesmin and Dover Law Firm. They are our trusted legal advisors, and we're talking all things DUI with Hunter and Cam. Welcome to ISF.
Hey, happy to have you.
Thank you.
All right, Cam, let's help us out here. What does Florida law state about DUIs?
So anytime you are driving and your normal driving faculties are impaired, i.e. you have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or over, you are technically exposing yourself to a DUI.
And Hunter, what are the best options for when you're pulled over after a DUI?
So after you're pulled over for a DUI, your best options are absolutely to always be respectful to the officer that's pulling you over. Generally, your DUI is going to be on camera, the police officer's body camera. So you always want to appear calm and collected and respectful towards the officer while you're speaking to him. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is be sure not to incriminate yourself. Don't say anything that might become hurtful to you later. It's also important to remember that if the officer asks you to commit to a breath test, we have something in Florida called implied consent. And that involves the idea that your license will automatically be suspended if you refuse to submit to that breath test. However, as far as field sobriety exercises go, you don't have to agree to complete those. If you feel like it's in your best interest not to, it may be good for you to decide not to complete those exercises. And all this is a lot to keep in mind while you're being pulled over and potentially going through this experience.
Cam, when this happens, why should you get an experienced DUI attorney involved?
Well, there are a lot of reasons, but just to name a couple, you could be facing a lot of factors, most likely jail time. If it's your fourth offense in 5 years, you could be facing prison. So there are a lot of different factors, like if there was a minor involved, but I think the most important notable factor is cops have a lot of requirements that they have to do in order to get probable cause for a DUI and an arrest. So you want an experienced attorney so that they can go over all the body cam, like Hunter mentioned. There's a lot of body cam involved, and we have to make sure the cops did their steps correctly every step of the way. And if they didn't, that gives us an angle to be able to defend you, possibly get you off, or at least mitigate the damage.
Hunter, what are some things to keep in mind if you are actually charged with a DUI?
So if you're actually charged with a DUI, I think you end up having a lot of questions immediately. How am I going to drive to work? How am I going to take care of my kids? What's going to happen next? So as Cam mentioned, it's important to hire an experienced attorney to handle all aspects of that. And one notable one is the fact that your DUI citation actually serves as your driver's license for the first 10 days following the arrest for your DUI. So essentially, it's important to hold on to that citation when you're driving around. Your next step is then to consider what you're going to do about your license after those 10 days. And that involves potentially a formal review hearing with the DMV, or possibly waiving that if that might be in your best interest. And these are all reasons why it's important to have both an attorney and important things to consider after you end up getting a DUI.
Who should you call if you are stuck in this predicament?
Be sure that you call experienced attorneys like us here at Demesmin and Dover. That's 866-954-MORE. That's 6673. 866-954-6673.
Cam, Hunter, thanks so much for hopping on to ISF and giving us all the important info today.
No problem.
Absolutely.